Implausible promises don't win victories. I'll tell you what happens with impossible promises. You start with far-fetched resolutions. They are then pickled into a rigid dogma, a code. And you go through the years sticking to that, outdated, misplaced, irrelevant to the real needs, and you end in the grotesque chaos of a Labour council hiring taxis to scuttle around a city, handing out redundancy notices to its own workers.
For context, you have to understand that Neil was the greatest platform orator of his generation. That's a phrase that Roy Hattersley used to me, Roy Hattersley, Neil's deputy, used to me, but it is true. He was a platform speaker like no other. He could move audiences. I remember him before he was leader. I was in Darlington at the Darlington by-election in 1983. I was the Labour Party press officer. And Neil, who was then the education spokesman, turned up, and we took him to a hall overflowing, and for an hour he had a vast audience weeping and laughing with him. And I remember one of his phrases from that. He said, now the cabinet, you remember that there were the cabinet wets, that is, the people who Margaret Thatcher thought weren't proper Tories. He said, now the cabinet wets, by the way, do you know why they call them that? It's because that's what they do when she shouts at them. And everybody, the whole room, it was, in the context, it was wonderful. He was a great phrase maker, and that's one of his great forgotten phrases. Nobody remembers that one anymore.